out.
Neat. You want this to be still in one piece. I'll see what I can do.
Okay, and
I'll just see what I can do.
workshop. So Tim, we're gonna go ahead and schedule it for 4:15,
Okay.
Okay.
and then go from there.
Yes.
Liens on properties, are you talking about?
Yes, the amnesty, how we go about.
liens.
Yeah, yes.
Just kind of explaining that process.
Mm-hmm.
22nd. Gotcha. All right, and then back to Mr. Alford's point would be the
RFP.
10th of June. Does that work for the gentleman?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to be considerate of you guys here tonight, so
We got a
June 10th.
10th time.
At the regular council meeting, you're talking about putting the RFP on the agenda for approval.
No, workshop. That's June 10th.
That conflicts with the RFP process. You know, if you're going to the RFP, the information will come back and staff can make recommendations to the council who staff pick to approve.
So we can't have the meeting until, the workshop till July?
We can have the workshop and not do the RFP until after the workshop.
I think it's something
Have you-
Joanne came up.
Yeah, Joanne Luther, finance director. I was going to suggest that you go ahead and have your workshop to discuss with your other community partners the possibility of going forward with this while my staff work together to put together the written RFP and get it, begun to be advertised. We can always pull one back. We can always amend it to include something else before,
But it seems
Done.
like that would just be pure speculation, though, if we're sitting here talking about information that we're not sure of. If different companies are different, have different information and different percentages. I know the stakeholders are us, the city, which is us, and the school, basically.
And the county.
how uniform
The county,
is the division of the dollars? Is that not by the statutes? So the division of the dollars to the different entities and doing this process is more or less governed by the statutes. So a lot of it will not change, and when we put together the RFP, we're going to have to, kind of decide a little bit what we're looking for in order to make the scoring uniform, right? I mean, that makes sense? So, I think that in communicating with the other entities that will be involved, or giving them an option to go ahead and voice questions or, search out information on it, that's not a bad thing. You can always have another workshop later if you choose, but it's just a suggestion.
sounds like we should have it sooner than later.
Yes, absolutely. Can we defer to Mr. Kennan or maybe George or Joanne to identify who are exactly the stakeholders by statute?
Well, I had it wrong. They were correct in the allocation of the $100 fine. And I believe there's a situation where if they contest it, they can also be hit with a 316 UTC court cost moving violation, which gets them the points and $200 whatever dollar fine, which that money is also allocated specifically for distribution by statute. Correct. That's backing for the so kind of explain how the stakeholders go. Enforcement, establishment of a school zone on a state highway has to be according to FDOT specifications. So there's really no or very little leverage there on setting that up. The enforcement, for lack of a better way to say it, really doesn't have anything to do with the school. They get allocated dollars, whether it's through this type of speed detection program or whether it's through a 316 moving violation. That would be the one where the chief set up radar detection at the school zone and pulled them over for 15 over, 20 over, the fines go up as your speed goes up. This is a way, this program essentially is designed to sort of take the court system out of it, give the violators a little bit of a break, unless they want to contest, and there's a process for contesting it. But your stakeholders, the school's gonna get their $20, whatever it is, for each citation that's upheld by the general magistrate or hearing officer. So that's really their only stake is, we may be giving you $20 under this program. This is about the frequency of it being paid. Y'all may want to get together amongst yourselves and decide how you want to allocate that.
I don't want you all to take the wrong idea from this right here. Safety in schools, I really do appreciate. But the more we talk, the more this sounds like a money generating for a business. Of course, we'll have a workshop and we'll talk about that more. But I mean, you got to remember who live here in life. First you hit them with $100 and they don't make that, then you're saying $316 was in violation.
Well, understand that I guess one benefit to the drivers, well, number one, if you speed and get caught, you're going to pay it, period, end of story, have a nice day. This helps with the allocation of resources. So you have all of the school zones being monitored during the hours of called for in the agreement. So you've always got monitoring. The chief doesn't have manpower to monitor every school zone every day, 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after. So the benefit is a reduction in the number of speeders, which is a safety correlation. And if the chief gives them a ticket, it's $269, whatever it is, and a moving violation points on your license. This is a $100 civil infraction that the statute says, because you're using this specific type of detection system, this is how the dollars are allocated.
I understand what you're saying, but I just don't want us to be known as generating revenue from off of our citizens that, that maybe, warning. I know he doesn't have all the manpower to do this right here, but I do have to think about the purses of our citizens. I do think about the safety of our kids as well. So the question I have from the monitoring of now, who monitors the school, who monitors the school zone?
Right now,
I don't want to get
right now
into
the police department.
Okay, and
I know
so,
got a lot of questions. I got questions too, but
of
if
course,
we're going to workshop it, we probably should just
But
workshop it.
understand,
but I'm gonna get,
you don't affect the purses of the citizens of Live Oak unless they violate the law. If they violate the law by going 10 miles over, you're going to affect their purses. If they go through a school zone less than 10 miles an hour, you're not going to affect them.
I understand that right there, what you're saying. But this is, to me, is just like a revenue generating process for a business. We create niches, we create what, you say if there's a need, you want a job, create you one. So this right here, the more we talk about it, this right here seems like maybe that's what we're doing here. But like you said, we'll have a workshop and we'll discuss that and we'll hear from the public as well as to what happens with this. So,
All right, so a lot of things have been discussed, so apparently we need to probably go ahead. It sounds like the best practice to go ahead and do a workshop sooner rather than later with the stakeholders, as they had mentioned earlier. And then after that, I guess hopefully the RFP process would be in place and done, ready for on the June 10th agenda. Is that a pretty good time frame for you, Ms. Joanne?
If we do a workshop for questions.
Joanne Luther, Finance Director. We'll begin putting it together. I'll be reaching out to maybe some other cities that might be doing this to see how they procure theirs for packages to guide, for guidance. And then we can begin the advertising process as we get a package together. And like I said, we can always, if after the workshop, you decide you don't want to do it, we can always not, just stop it and state we're not going to do it, happens. But we can start it, and that'll be our goal. A lot of things occur, so, that could be our goal.
So when do you think would be a good time for the workshop? Maybe before the next council meeting?
I think we should. Maybe the next CRA, that puts us a couple of weeks ahead of time for the next meeting.
Well, we're already gonna be here at 4:15 that day, so.
That's right, you got it.
Be back on 22nd.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you can do something maybe next week even.
Do it next week.
You get a workshop, but it's up to y'all.
I'll tell you, you'll get the school board, it's spring break.
We got a workshop.
Well, maybe next week.
I mean, we can do a workshop, it doesn't have to be a day that we have a meeting, so I'm at the pleasure of you guys. If you guys want to come up with a common date and time for the week of April 21st through the 25th.
Do that Monday, the 21st.
Monday the 21st.
Everyone go up?
Does that work for everyone else?
Does that give you time to advertise, Mr. Gill?
Well,
I don't think we.
Not for one.
after, I got one question concerning on it. And there was a proposed ordinance adopting it. How's that playing?
Well, if the board went ahead and decided they wanted to adopt a speed detection program,
Right.
then we have to start with the ordinance, and then they have, whoever vendor we would retain, there's all kind of public meetings, I mean, the statutes of, and I read them, I didn't go through and say 1, 2, 3, but we have an ordinance that we have to pass.
Before we do the RFP.
That I did not look into.
Because we go ahead and do an RFP and approve somebody, we don't have an ordinance established.
I mean, I could look into that and then get back to you, and that'll determine the time we're gonna work. We could go ahead and have the workshop and get the information out to the stakeholders and get these other questions answered along with beginning the initial preparation of the RFP.
Would that Thursday be better than the Monday? I understand Monday's on, but
Either way, I'm fine with it.
Thursday,
What's
what
that
day is that
date?
on?
24th.
24th, okay.
5 o'clock or earlier, I don't know if that matters.
Well, we can, well, school's out there, right?
4:30?
Yeah, 4:30? 4:30,
4:30 on
24th?
the 24th.
4/24.
Stakeholders workshop for this item.
Workshop.
You got a workshop on
We got workshops coming up.
22nd, 24th.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Alford, any further
Today.
information to discuss on your item? All right, moving forward, we're going to go on to item number 8A. Mr. Sessions.
Before I get started, I would like to have Mr. Curry come up here first. He's got an update for us. Let him go ahead and get his out of the way.
Really, I just want to get on the stakeholder list because there's a couple parks in that school zone too, so I think we should get a cut of piece of the pie. Sorry, Mr. Ness.
Everybody.
You don't get a cut of this.
Parks need to be safe too, and they speed through there. No, thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Sessions. Just want a quick update on some of the projects that we got going on. We're wrapping up a couple of the FERDAP projects. So Ms. Joanne will be happy. We'll get reimbursed her $50,000 for each of those at Azalea and Baker. And then we'll be starting the project, the $200,000 project at Heritage Park for the improvements there. So I'm going to give her some money, and she's going to have to float some money out there over the next year for that. The Trail Go for extending the lights on the trail will be starting soon. We're getting those in. And the roof replacement from the hurricane damage at Heritage Park on the house is going out to bid, and we'll close that at the end of April and get started on that as well. Let's see, John Hill Park, start that solicitation hopefully this month through the county, and we will look to demo that building sometime in the fall, but I'll keep y'all posted as we get closer to that. We'll start cutting off our, rentals and whatnot that are going on there, but we'll be down for a little while until we start construction. That should be completed by October of '26. So we're gonna get that going here. We're gonna have to fast track that to get that built.
Jason, let me ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
How old is that building?
Older than me, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not sure.
Any reserve of brick or?
Yeah, I believe the brick came from the house over at Heritage Park, used the leftover bricks to build that building. Is that right? So yeah, we plan on doing that already.
But selling those bricks or?
Yeah, I don't know. We'd sell them, but
Okay.
make some sort of display, or something built into the new building, or on display, something to that effect.
All right.
Just a couple other, not a city project, but it's in the city limits, the Douglas Center, the John Hill project, that same great program through the Department of Commerce. Will be making improvements at the Douglas Center gym, some air conditioning and some new classrooms that we'll be adding on to there. Then a separate program, we got a lot of money from the state that we're spending in the city, so again, it's a county project that wrote the grant, but it's within the city limits at Douglas Park, and that's through the Department of State for a cultural center. So it would be a community center on the old Douglas school grounds there, in that open field behind Mr. Ford's Veterans Memorial over there. So in the grass area there between the EOC and the gym, be a new community center there. So same kind of deadline around the 1st of 2026. Yes, sir.
Are those, you mentioned classroom, are they designated for something or?
Yes, the one at the Douglas Center, I'm trying to remember, I'm sorry. Telehealth, workforce, and education, I think, are components of the grant that we need to use those classrooms for. That's just adding a couple of small wings on the Douglas Center gym,
Right.
like we're on the front of the building. The new cultural center, I think it just has to do with the arts and culture and that sort of thing. So it'll just be meeting rooms, and the community can use it for whatever, reunions, showers, events, and the like. And I think that is it pretty much. Just a reminder, the Wildflower Festival is coming up May 10th at Heritage Park. 4th of July, Freedom Fest is right around the corner. I know the mayor's got some meetings coming up to keep us on track. And just wanted to say thanks to the council. I know a couple council members came to Heritage Park to the appreciation luncheon, so appreciate Ms. Robinson and Ms. Owens coming out there, and the mayor, of course. And again, just thank the staff, city staff, and the council, I was going to say the board, as well. Just the city and county cooperation on projects. I know they've got 68th Street or Terrace on the agenda tonight, and just working on grants for downtown flooding and different things. But just appreciate the leadership, Mr. Sessions, working with the county, and your guys' support as well, working with the commission. So just thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Furry.
Thank you, Jason. So we're going to look at resolution 2025-10.
Resolution 2025-10, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Live Oak, Florida, authorizing the chief elected official or city manager in the mayor's absence to make application to Florida Commerce for an FFY 2023-2024 Small Cities Community Development Block Grant CDBG in the Housing Rehabilitation category, committing $50,000 in city funds to be utilized as leverage funds if awarded CDBG funding, providing an effective date and for other purposes.
I make a motion that we accept resolution 2025-10.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign?
Next is resolution 2025-11. Just to give a little bit of information about this one, we have an interlocal agreement the improvements in 68 Terrace to make sure that we're both recognized, us and the county are recognizing this improvement, so that when this moves forward, when there's contractors involved, that they know they're held liable by us and the county. So while they're looking for that, it's a coordination of work. What we're doing is improving the way we flow our sewage out by Walmart. We're going to be going toward where Quality Inn and Econo Lodge is, and then we're going to turn back toward 795 and go to the one that the county's building. And theirs will be the master station, which would make it a shorter run to our waste facility. So us working together, saving both the city and the county money.
All right, City Council Resolution number 2025-11, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Live Oak, Florida, authorizing the execution of an interlocal agreement between Suwannee County, Florida, and the City of Live Oak regarding cooperation and responsibilities for improvements of and along 68 Terrace, providing for conflict and providing for an effective date.
That will be a pleasure of the council.
Resolution 2025-11.
A motion and a second. Comments and questions? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution 2025-11 is approved. Item C.
We have a RFP award 03-2025 for streetscape light poles.
I don't think we have a resolution.
All right, it's been, so the City of Live Oak received one bid for RFP 03-2025 for streetscape light poles. The bid was from City Electric Company of Live Oak, the amount of $41,778 for 22 fixtures to be placed on Highway 90, and $34,182 for 18 light fixtures to be placed on 129. So it is recommended to the City Council that we award the contract to City Electric of Live Oak in the amount of $75,960 for 40 streetscape light poles to be installed along 90 and 129 in Live Oak. And this goes right along with a lot of the business owners downtown have been complaining about